Hello everybody, welcome to Monday's MCN where we go over funny things, not so fun things, and other stuff. So, not so fun things, Spider-Woman Nerf. Not weird things, the bite thing, and also some funny things in that the bugs do be buggy. First of all, over the weekend, like myself, I was missing out, or many people like myself, may have missed out on the AQ rewards, the Radiance, and the Glory. This has now hit your accounts. If it's a case of you still think you're owed something, make sure to do a support ticket and let Kabam know, because this should have completely gone out to the community, which is good news, because I've been wondering when the heck this is going to come in. And you do worry in the world of Marvel Contest of Champions and Kabam whether or not you're actually going to get the rewards you're owed. We quickly pop over to and a Thronebreaker Accelerator bundle. Yeah, so Kabam, what they're doing now is they're putting out these kind of like deals to get people to catch up. This is something that's always met with a bit of, well, indifference with the community on whether or not they see these things a bit too much of a money grab. Do these see things of like, oh, well, if you just buy away, you can get to anywhere. But of course, the problem that we have at the moment is there's way too many veteran players. There's such a high learning curve very early on. I mean, yeah, here's the fact is it's not really a new concept or something that Kabam hasn't done in the past. They've always done this. It's just how far you go back to do this. If you look back, I don't know what, 3, 4, 5, even upwards of like 7 years, these were being put out, these kind of catch-up mechanics or types of bundles in order to get you up to the next progression or get you further to a progression, which is kind of like, it was always like one less, so to speak. So whilst everybody was, I'd say, Paragon, there was catch-up things for Cavalier at the time. And yeah, as Cat Murdoch says, this is not exactly new. They've been selling bundles in sales for lower progressions with specific materials hitting the next progression, several major sales. Now, you could also do it in units. Like some of the unit caches have helped. Not all the time, but there have been some deals here and there where it's like if you buy this bundle, this bundle, this bundle with units, which could total 18 to 21,000 units, you could basically leapfrog. But the Heatwave July had a better version. And yeah, it depends, of course, on the time. But also new Iron Man profile picture thing or kind of like champion thing incoming, maybe? I don't know. This is, yeah, an interesting look for this. It was a good spot right there. Anyone else notice it? Yeah, kind of. Would you like this one instead of like the regular one? Next up, have you ever been in a situation where a bug hit so much that you're like, oh, Dread Doom didn't reach SP3 or do a heavy attack, and there is in perpetual amplification, which is, not exactly brilliant, is it? Yeah, have we all been there? I'm sure a lot of us have been there before. Not fun times. Yet more bugs and things in the world of Marvel Contest of Champions for us to marvel at. This week is going to be an incredibly fun week with all the kind of like negativity and stuff that's kind of been happening of late. I'm hoping for a little bit of a positive spike until things go really bad again. We got to be a little bit kind of like good vibes going into the end of the week, especially with a new update, new information, hopefully a dev diary, hopefully some omission from Kabam about like the state of things being not great from their perspective and what they're planning to do for the future to stabilize stuff. There's a chance. Kabam have got a chance to kind of go, what are they going to do for the benefit of the community? Will the community conversation come out before the live stream next Friday? Will it not? Well, you hope that the live stream will come out because, we can't just be going around in the same kind of like, oh, things are burned in game. Oh, people are quitting. Oh, will Kabam ever get it right? Like, come on, we've got to. Kabam, talking of Kabam here, they've got to fight back and they've got to say to the community, this is what we're going to do for you. See, I'm even slapping the desk and shaking the screen in kind of like, come on, G'ing people up, which you've got to do. Anyway, Bitten. Marvel Zombies. Didn't say Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a zombies type event. It looks like we've got some kind of like pathogens. We look like we're kind of talking about stuff that would kind of create zombified type characters in game. I'm excited for it, but I don't know what we're going to see in the following 2 weeks. This whole kind of series of biting people. Like, I think I sent Let Us Be Serial, Alliance Leader, Shadowless. If I've like said, I thought at the time I was like, oh, just sending this kind of like subspace ping to him. I didn't realize I might have bitten him. Like these things are interesting, but I don't know if it's like it's the other side. It looks like a bite. Because I tell you what, if it's that kind of way, I've been really bitten. I've been bitten by the bug. Except for the compensation, that's just there for me. All for me, none for you. Don't you dare think about it. But I'm still excited. If we get a Marvel Zombies event in the world of MCOC, then yeah, it's gonna be cool. Command have not really given any kind of like honesty around. They're just like it's teasing, like at this moment in time, like what it is. Just accept the gift. Like it's a Walking Dead thing right there. Okay. Yeah, a lot of mystery in it. I like a bit of mystery in MCOC because it can't be all kind of like reveals. This is what we're doing, blah, 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 blah. Need excitement, need something new, need something kind of interesting. And Marvel Zombies, for a lot of the player base, especially that have played for a long time, I've always wanted to see something like this. Zombified characters. I don't think we'll see it in the way players want to see it, but we'll see events around it. Now let's end the show on a little bit of coverage around Spider-Woman. TLDR, they haven't or they won't change anything yet. What are they doing? They're listening. Okay, but let's go into the details a bit more. So I know reading a lot of kind of stuff around the community on where they're up to with their feelings around the champion and the champion changes. Sorry. As I said in like my coverage, I don't have the champion, so I'm kind of living vicariously through you that do have the champion. But it sets a principle and precedence similar, you could say, like similar to the Mole Man situation, of course. But it's good to see that people are aligned on going, look, is it something that needs to be done? Not really. If the change was to go through, would you still be able to use the champion effectively in attack? Quite possibly. But it becomes a difficulty around the amount of investment into a champion, how far a champion is ranked, and the feasibility around players asking, and the fairness, no, not feasibility, the fairness in players saying, well, if you're going to do this to this, which I used in a certain way, then should I be allowed to ask for rank down tickets? And that's going to be something that I think will raise itself again. And this is fear, right? This causes a lot of fear around ranking up champions. We said it before, investment of rank up resources, money invested into resources that you buy on deals and stuff, to then have it ranked, not ranked down, but changed in some sort of way. And yeah, look, we all sign the terms and conditions. We know the terms and conditions. Like, that's not the point. But the point is, like, how it's just fairness, isn't it? Fairness, fun, and the investment and the future, because it will come back. It will rear its head again. When Kabam go, yeah, we're going to change something, but I spent a lot of money on this. Oh, yeah, we're still going to change it, though. And when people are having fear for the future, then it's fear of ranking up. I've had it. Like, it took me like a year, 2 years to get over the fact of, if I rank up a champion, like at the time, I think it was Namor. If anyone remembers the past, do you remember the past? It was in the past. Namor, when people went through ranking up a champion and making it like it was like god tier champion because you were hitting and you were getting so much regen back, and then Kabam nerfed it. A lot of players like invested so much resource into kind of having that as a lead champion because it was tearing through content. And that was scary because there was a few at the time that were like, we just rank, then it was rank down tickets. And when people nowadays going like, it makes me nervous for all the people that are waking and rank Nico, watch them just take away the buff immunity, blaming that she's too strong. But again, it's not, by the way, not just that, but there's other examples of other champions where people have this fear around, what if I rank up this champion within the 6-month window of the rebalance, am I going to have that all taken away? And especially if you've kind of invested your money to get rank up resources to then rank them up and then find like, oh, damn. Especially as well, like free to play, not just spenders. If you've invested that resource, trying to get that back. And also the same thing with that there, Radiance. Like if you use Radiance and that's Radiance gone, like it's gone, like it's gone from you. And you're kind of there going, what is going on. Of course, makes players a lot more nervous to open up Titan crystals, being the better way cheaper way to acquire some of these newer base champions. And the same thing with people like money-wise. Like people would go, why should I spend money knowing that I might get the champion, but then I don't know what's going to happen in 6 months' time. So you might be like, great, can I use it? Well, yes. Shall I rank it up? Well, not just yet, just in case. And Kabam are kind of listening. But what is listening at the end of the day? Is listening versus actioning. Can't speak anything beyond us passing it along for now. Announcements and the response has all been in the last few hours. So this is back several days ago. They do listen, but what specifically gets actioned are based on feedback is different next step. But Rex and I are both listening for sure, because that's what they're going to do. Community management team will take your feedback. They'll kind of process all the feedback stuff, and then they'll send it over to the game team to kind of like see, well, what people are saying, what's the sentiment around stuff, and then they'll make a decision whether to action it or kind of go in that particular direction with stuff. Kabam are kind of not in a good point when we as a community are looking to trust their direction and stuff. I think that's a big thing of the last 2 months, like trusting Kabam on the game direction. And, you know, this is a great point here from Clobber in Time. I hope they read this and revert this nerf at the very least, turn that ensnare into a slow, if the general AAR, ability X reduction thing is really that much of an issue on attack, because I have a really hard time thinking it's that much of an issue on defense. I can guarantee you nobody has lost a fight against her due to the ensnare more than they have that stupid fumble, which is what makes her insanely hard on defense and has basically zero effect on her on offense. So the trusting what Kabam are doing behind the scenes, and is this to do with something else? Is this to do with something that interacts in a certain way? Is by having on a certain node interacting in a certain way? Is something that Kabam have got future planned affecting this? Like, why is this so much of an issue? Again, like, what's the plan? And that's something you never really kind of get from Kabam. And this is why that kind of trust level on game direction and Kabam's plan for the future versus what they're doing right now. And is this part of the future plan? And more questions than answers, of course, come up from all of this. Doing my research for this particular show today, there was 2 things that popped up quite a bit. I mean, of course, the game direction and kind of like the other stuff around like what the champion was doing to where it was kind of going. But the deep dive came up as a thing, first of all, because in the deep dive video, there is an interaction against Bullseye. Now, does this become like class disadvantage, hard counter to Bullseye? Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's something that was kind of like found out by perchance in the creation of the champion and on the showcase of the champion. There was the other thing that maybe that there's going to be a champion created that bends into the champion Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, becoming a counter to a future Mystic that maybe she's not meant to. Like there's so many things that you just don't know. But again, it goes back to not really knowing what the plan is with Kabam, not really understanding game direction around certain things when it comes to champions, or is that this complete conspiracy theory that this type of champion is coming, that Spider-Woman is going to be a direct counter for, and therefore it's like, okay, that ensnare specifically, or some of the other abilities are like, yeah, we can't have this as a either defender or attacker with this particular ability because of X, Y, and Z reason. I think we'll end it here because we're going down a rabbit hole with so many different kind of avenues, alleyways of people's disdain, chillness, outrage with all of this. So there's a lot of stuff that I think at this stage, over to Kabam, they have all the details, player feedback, and it's time for them to kind of go read it through, take in what the player base is saying, and then make a decision based on that. But there's nothing of an update, but there's definitely some things that you can just go, this is good evidence, this is good logic, this is counter, and of course Kabam need to make that decision of, are they going to be helping out the community or pissing off the community or kind of meeting us in the middle? We'll find out, hopefully, within the week. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on some of the topics and fun, weird, and outrageable things in the world of MCOC that we covered in the show today? Put it in the comments. See you soon. Bye.